Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Company production.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
We're back talking about more Lost.
Woohoo!
However, I do have some questions here. Or not questions, but I have a question for you.
Uh-oh, okay.
That I wanted to ask last week on the premiere, but I completely forgot.
Okay.
So a little bit of setup. I've already told you this, so I'll remind the audience if they don't remember. But we have a friend who she came into town last spring, like March, and I met up and had lunch with her, and she dropped a bombshell on me. She loved the first 2 seasons of Dark, but she couldn't get into season 3. It was just too complicated.
Ah.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then she said that her and her husband started watching Lost, and they were enjoying it. They were loving it. I was like, okay, her husband he watched it through college, and she had never seen it. So she's like, okay, it's finally time. I'm like, okay, cool. Since then, since the spring, she is pregnant. She has gotten pregnant. She returned to town a few days ago. I had lunch with her, and she's still watching. She's no longer binging. I don't know where she is.
Okay.
She's at least season 4. I know that.
Okay.
But she was just saying, yeah, it's just, it's this complicated show, and it doesn't help that she only watches like one episode every few weeks now. So I'm like, I get it. Well, it's only going to get more complicated in the back half of the series,
It's true.
But all that to say, that's my setup to saying that she's still watching Lost. But now she's going to have a baby. So I wonder if she's going to get to finish the show before she has the baby. We'll find out. But
We'll find out.
I want to ask you, Sam.
Okay.
Is out of all the characters in Lost, who would you name a baby after?
See, now this is tough because I'm like, well, I mean, this is a great character, but is that a great baby name? that like, it's like, yes, like you're a terrific character. Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorites. But can I name my child after you?
Yeah, good question.
Because immediately I was like, well, Desmond.
Oh, yeah.
Like Desmond for sure. And then I'm like, well, wait a second. How does that look? Little tiny baby. It's like, oh, what's their name? Desmond.
Call him Des.
Desi. And then I was like, oh, Hurley. Yeah, Hurley's a great character. We can name it. Actually, I don't know about that. Hurley. Hugo is technically his name, so
true.
Yeah. Hearing a lot of people naming their kids Charlie recently.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I'm like,
sounds like a rambunctious, troublemaking British kid.
Yeah. I mean, Kate.
I love names with I guess a K, but I'll even and then I also say C's as well, but it's kind of like that the hard But even when I'm writing, a lot of the women characters have K names. But I've been writing for a while, so this is before the Kardashians was a thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Kris Jenner got nothing on my unfinished scripts.
Oh gosh, jeez. Yeah, but Kate, Claire.
Yeah.
I mean, we're Mexican, so like Ana Lucia, like that's almost a shoe-in for one of our kids.
Well, that doesn't have the hard cut noise.
No, I know. We've moved past that. We're not talking about that anymore.
Oh. She was at Ana Lucia Cortez.
Oh, okay.
Caroline.
That sounds like a sweet name.
Oh, yes, it does. My answer, because I did bring this up to Hannah. I told her I would go with Dr. Chang. I would just name my kid Dr. Chang.
Dr. Chang.
I'm like, look, kid, you're probably not going to be a Nepo baby. I got nothing to offer you, so I'm going to do you the favor and just throw it into your first name, Doctor.
Doctor. Oh, okay.
Dr. Chang Jimenez.
but it's not spelled out. It's just
It's just a
DR
DR.
period. Yeah.
Well, no, it's doctor. So when he actually goes and becomes a doctor, that's where you get the abbreviation.
So his name is gonna be when as he's a doctor, whatever field he's in, it's gonna be Doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Jimenez, MD.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
that's medical. He could go into other fields and become a doctor.
Mhm.
Maybe he becomes a professor. Professor Dr.
So
Chang
Doctor-
Jimenez.
What is the difference? What's the difference between a professor and a doctor?
Well, I'm guessing you got to get your doctorate,
Well, yeah.
but I don't know what you have to get. Well, I mean, but professor is such a wide net. Like,
Hmm.
you don't need a doctorate to get professor.
Oh, okay. That was my
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
That was yeah. Okay. Okay.
Who knows? I mean, I'm not really one to be sports inclined, but maybe my kid ends up playing for the NBA. And here comes Dr. Chang Jimenez,
Wow.
rookie of 2049. I don't know. I don't know the math on that.
Wow. That's no. I don't think that checks out.
Early 20s? Oh, mid 20s.
Oh, okay. Mid 20. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
That's if I start now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, interesting. So that's okay. So you really don't have an answer then.
No. I really don't.
Neither do I. Because again, like I think like Desmond's probably my favorite character, but
Mhm.
what about Bernard? Bernard Jimenez,
No.
little Bernie,
No. You can have
Yeah.
a little baby named Bernard,
Bernie.
I guess.
Speaking of Bernie, Ernie, did you see the clip I sent you of from Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Listeners, it's Bert and Ernie and Diego Luna and what's his name? Gabriel Garcia Marquez? No,
No, that's the author.
that's the author. Who's
It's his name's Gaio.
Gael? There we go.
Yeah.
Say his full name for me so I don't screw it up again. Why did I say that? I guess it's the author. I work at a bookstore.
That's the author. Gael Garcia Bernal.
There we go. I totally screwed that up. Which is
Yeah.
funny because I've been watching his movies a lot longer than I've been watching Diego Luna films.
Yeah.
But Diego Luna is so much easier to remember.
Yeah.
It's a simple. It's simple,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry,
hey,
Gael.
it is also shortened. He did shorten it, so
Really? What's his full name?
or at least I think he did. Oh, well, it's not that his full name is Diego Luna Alexander.
Jimenez. That's a good one.
Yeah, Jimenez. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking about him more next year when we get into Andor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And or to finish off this conversation,
Nice.
our friend, when I asked her, I was like, I gotta ask you a super personal question. What Lost character are you naming your baby after? And she actually kind of laughed and stopped me. And she's like, well, actually, I've always loved the name Sawyer. Hot damn. But they said they can't because they're instantly going to think of the character. I was like,
No,
yeah,
they're not.
I'm like, he's a great character though.
I mean, yeah, also, yeah, he's a great character. But
Yeah.
also, hey, who cares?
Who cares? Go for it.
Go for it. Do
Yeah.
it.
I'm sure your memories of Baby Sawyer will what's the word? Like overwrite
Yeah.
your memories of Sawyer from Lost.
Yeah, for
Although-
sure.
Although
Although
getting into this episode, I think we have some Sawyer to talk about.
yeah. Now hang on a second. Now I have a question.
Okay.
Does this friend listen to our podcast?
Probably not.
Oh, well then. Well then, apparently our
I don't
words
know.
are falling on deaf ears.
She's very supportive. I have a feeling she turns it on like in the kitchen right before she goes outside to garden for 8 hours. You know,
our episode isn't that long.
Yeah, I know. Well, she'll play all of them. She's supportive. I just don't know if she listens. So,
Oh, all right, fair enough.
let's get into it, man. We're talking about Lost the sixth and final season,
Stop it.
the third and the final third episode of Lost.
Stop it.
Oh, where's my notes? Oh, the episode is called What Kate Does. No, What Kate Did.
Mm,
No,
no.
What Kate Does. I'm sorry.
Yes.
What Kate Did was her flashback episode in season one.
Okay.
Because that's the one where it's finally revealed what she did to get arrested. This one is
Hmm.
What Kate Does.
Hmm.
In which Kate's on the run with Claire, and Jack tries to save Saeed's life. Some more.
S'mores?
S'mores. So what do you
Mm.
want to talk about first? On island or off?
Uh,
What's your favorite?
it doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I guess if I had to pick a favorite, it's the Kate stuff off
Okay,
island.
okay. Well, let's jump into Kate stuff. But to preface for our audience, you told me today that you didn't like this episode.
I, yeah, because like watching it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like I'm in it, I'm there. Uh, had gripes, and then once it ended, I was like, it ends in a much more interesting place than I think the entire episode was.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like for my money, this just feels like we're going back to early Lost writing,
Yeah.
and it's like, as you keep reminding me, you needed to be in the room with the writers to remind them, hey guys, this is the sixth and final season.
Hmm.
This is the last third episode of a season that we're getting.
Yeah.
Uh, let's step it up a bit.
Yeah.
Let's do some stuff. Let's go
And
crazy.
and again, I wonder if this is because, like we mentioned last time, the writers' room. It's the final
Hmm.
season, but to I don't know if this is the first season for any of the writers, but most of these writers in that room, I don't think they were here for the full show. I think
Mm.
maybe one or two. For sure, you have the showrunners,
Hmm.
but like if you look at the writers list, like I don't know. I'll try and look it up before the next episode, just so I
Okay.
can speak with facts. But I already know like a lot of the big writers on this show, they already got their own series and they left early
Yeah.
in the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. So I wonder if that's part of it. This was kind of our big complaint about the season five finale, where just it felt like we're going backwards in terms of theme, because it does seem like, okay, it's almost like we're starting, not that we're starting over, but a lot of things are kind of coming to a head full
Hmm.
circle. But at the same time, quality wise, like
Yeah.
it's still returning, and we love season one. I think it's one of the best seasons, but you can't just do that again with how far the show has gone or has
Yeah.
come. So yeah, that's very weird. I don't know. Um, Onto the Kate stuff. I liked the Kate stuff in alternate timeline.
Yeah. I did too.
I think it's kind of weird. I don't think it needed to be that long.
Hmm.
Like I feel like there wasn't enough here to justify a full Flash sideways
Hmm.
episode. But then at the same time, the more Flash sideways we got, the less time we spent at the temple. So I was kind of okay with it. And it's
Yeah.
great to have Claire back. That was my main thing.
Yeah. That's my thing.
So she was on Once Upon a Time in oh, it's just called Once Upon a Time, the
Hmm.
show at this point. So
Yeah.
that's why she left during season five, because she was like a main series regular on Once Upon a Time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why she left.
Oh, wow.
They weren't just pulling a brand and were like, "We'll bring you back for the last season."
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, like they wrote her out, and the showrunners of that show got their start on Lost, so she kind
Mm.
of just went with them. I don't know who
Yeah.
she plays. She might be Siri. Who does Emily DeRaven play in Once Upon a Time? Oh, she plays Belle.
Oh, wow.
That's a show I've always wanted to check out. Um, just because I love the concept of doing like a full series with like recognizable characters, you know?
Hmm. I hear it gets crazy.
I hear it gets crazy in both good and bad ways.
Yeah.
That was kind of like that was our Fortnite before Fortnite, where we didn't have MCU and all these different characters meeting together to make the Avengers.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, kinda, yeah.
yeah, we had crossover episodes, but like that
Hmm.
felt like it was a crossover series. You have all these characters, and it's ABC, so they can do like the Disney version of those characters. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Once upon a time, Fortnite, I'd play the hell out of that. Like a fairy tale season.
That would be really cool, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like that.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Now I'm just thinking of maps. Like, ooh, what map could you get?
I
Like
know.
Like Rapunzel's Tower,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Hey,
Uh
they're teaming up with Disney,
yeah.
man. So I don't know what they're doing. Like
But I don't think Disney would allow it because
they're
like
not going to do the gun stuff.
yeah, they're not it's not gonna do the gun stuff. You could do
Yeah.
like missions and quests, but you couldn't like shoot up the castle or destroy the
Yeah, dude. My
castle in
first
any
thought was
way.
like, dude, I want a Fortnite map that's just the Disney parks. They're not going to do that. They'll probably do a separate game mode.
Yeah,
I
for
think this
sure.
is going to be the next. I don't want to go on a tangent, so we'll just end it here. I think this is going to be the next iteration of like what Disney Infinity was supposed to become.
Mm, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why I'm super psyched about this Disney Fortnite collaboration.
Mhm.
Um, but last thing I'll say about Disney, did you notice our boy Pooh Bear got a little cameo? He was in Claire's bag, and I don't know
Oh,
if it
yeah,
was like
yeah.
towels or what, but like you see his little face in there,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
He
there's
was in
also a
there.
Shamu.
I was just more touched by the Shamu because
Yeah,
I have my own personal story with, my own little
yeah.
Shamu, growing up. I
We
called him
lived
Moo
somewhere where there was a
Moo.
SeaWorld, pretty
Yeah,
close, so we got Shamu memories.
yeah. Yeah, but I also had my little stuffy.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Remember?
remember that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Moo Moo. Oh,
Moo was that his name?
yeah, that was his name, Moo Moo.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is he? A cow whale? Well,
Maybe
they do color coordinate.
they do color coordinate.
Uh huh. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Don't look so smart now, huh?
I wasn't actually smart. It was a legit question.
Anyway, back to Lost.
Well, speech does sound like slowed down cow talk.
Yeah, sure.
Moo.
Maybe that's just what they're saying. They're
Moo.
saying moo, but elongated.
Yeah, I mean, what are
Yeah.
whales if not water cows?
Mm. Mm.
This requires deeper research and investigation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
If you're an oceanographer, a whale biologist, listening
yeah,
to our podcast, can you please like comment, hit us up?
yeah.
Our
Scientifically
whale, our
break
whales, the
down.
cows of the ocean.
Yeah, scientifically break down to me what's the difference between a cow and a whale. I don't know, man. I feel like we're entering some Joe Rogan territory here.
Oh, jeez. So neither one of us smoke, so
Well, you see, cow and whales are exactly the same, except cows come from space. So, um, yeah, but
no, yeah, yeah.
what?
Keep going.
Oh, um, and they control the weather. Anyway, um, I
Whales
really
live in a
like.
post-apocalypse. They
Yeah.
do. They live in a post-apocalypse. Their songs, they no longer sing them like as at the same like frequencies because there
Oh
are less
no.
whales in the world
Yeah.
now. And yeah, it's just they live in a dystopia.
I
Uh
and there's they're unionizing, they're striking back against humans, which
as
I'm
well they should.
surprised. I'm surprised. This has been going on for a while, and I'm surprised there's not a movie of that yet. We get
Hey, movies take a while, man. You
dude,
know?
but they pump out like the Sharknadoes and like the Shark in Paris, that stuff so fast. Like,
Well, I mean, okay, now we're mixing two different companies because
well, yeah, I know that,
like
but
because the Sci-Fi Channel was doing all the Sharknado stuff,
yeah, I'm just
and
speaking about
they're
in
no longer
general.
do. Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I'm telling you how it
yeah,
works. All right, we got to get back to Lost.
We're talking about everything other than
I
Lost.
know. See,
That's how you know our feelings on this one.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's just sum it up. I like the Kate stuff. I like the Claire stuff in this side timeline. Um, it's interesting because this alternate timeline, we're not given a lot of info. So there's some characters who seem exactly the same. So it's like, oh, this is what would have happened if they hadn't crashed. And then there's
Yeah.
other ones who are like Hurley who seem completely different. Or like
Mhm.
he still seems like the same guy, but his circumstances are completely different.
Yeah.
You know? So in one way, like it's gonna be interesting to see Hurley's story because that feels like an alternate timeline. Whereas Kate's and Claire's just feels like a continuation. Oh, this is what we never got to see. This is what was supposed to happen. You
Yeah.
know? And I do like how they tied Claire's in with hers so well. So we might not get a Claire alternate timeline episode. Or if we do, it'll be further along, because like we got the gist here. Like this is the same Claire we got before. It's just
Mhm.
she actually made it to LA this time. And
Yeah.
again, something happens and it's getting in the way of her giving up Aaron,
Mhm.
and that's early days Lost. I completely forgot about all that. I was like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, it was like Destiny was like trying to stop her from giving up Aaron, So it
Yeah.
was kind of nice that this popped up again. I was like, oh yeah, okay. But yeah, so you essentially have both of Aaron's moms working together in this episode. And it's kind of cool how the Destiny thing is like, quote unquote, Destiny thing's working. So like Ethan turns out to be her doctor. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, so in this timeline, the island is gone at some point. So
Mhm.
Ethan's now a doctor, And I love the line he says, like, I don't want to stick you with a bunch of needles if I don't have to. Like, this is totally
Yeah.
different Ethan. But at the same time, I didn't even catch this. I read it on the behind the scenes. The actress who plays the nurse when they first pull up in the cab to the hospital, and she's
Mhm.
like, "Well, what's going on with you?" Oh, okay, we'll get. Her line was, "We're gonna get you to the MCU." I was like, "No, Claire, don't. They're in a down period."
Wow.
Although this was technically
This is pre-MCU.
this is a 2010 season,
Oh,
but
okay.
in
Well
the
then no.
timeline, they're still in '04 because the island never
Oh,
or the plane never crashes.
that's right. That's right.
So
Yeah.
she would be pre MCU Claire.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. She could have been Black Widow or something. She could have been Iron Man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but anyway, that nurse who helps wheel her out of the cab is the
Mhm.
same actress who plays Aaron's nanny in the previous seasons that Kate hires. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, so it's just like an extra. I don't know.
interesting.
She maybe had one or two lines, but I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, that's cool. So like they actively sought out that actress and say, hey, can you just play this like one line character? You know? So I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, so this is like her in this alternate timeline and or a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm liking what they're doing. And I'm also liking the cameos with like Arts again showing up, almost getting hit, Ethan
Mhm.
showing up. It's not being done in a way that's like gratuitous. Like it
Mhm.
really, at this point, it kind of feels like almost like we've earned it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they could do that every single episode, but there's so many freaking characters on the show. I'm kind of interested to see where people show up because now, like, it's expected. We're
Yeah.
3 episodes in, and we've had several dead characters show up in this alternate
Mhm.
world. So, like,
Mhm.
it's kind of becoming the usual here. I'm like, okay, who else are they gonna bring in?
Yeah.
Where's Mikhail? Does he still have both eyes?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Did we ever see the mechanic who helps get the handcuffs off of Kate?
I recognize the actor.
Right? I recognize the actor, but I don't think he's ever been in the show.
Near do I. I don't know this guy's name. You know what? I'm already looking it up. So
He's not listed in the cast.
really?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. His name is Jeff Kober, and he's just listed as mechanic. Oh, that's why he's uncredited.
Oh,
Yeah, but it just seems like I guess he just has that presence, you know? He has
yeah.
that presence of like, oh yeah, you're somebody important, you know, or like we've seen you before. Um, but yeah, crazy. I guess we haven't.
Wow. Okay. Weird. I know he showed up in Walking Dead and some other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So all in all, it I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was a very sweet ending. Kate gets away, so we see, so it seems.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Claire, she still doesn't have Aaron, but she kind of doesn't seem as freaked out now, and she possibly has a friend, a fugitive friend.
Hmm.
You know,
I
so
was I was thinking about that. I was like, man, wouldn't that be so crazy? Like a couple years later, like Kate like hooks up again with Claire, and then they become besties, and then it's
yeah,
like, you know, how do you explain that to people at a dinner party? You
I
know, it's
know,
like, how do
right?
you two know each other? Oh, funny story. She actually held me up in a cab when I first came to America. I'd be like, what?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she had a gun and everything. Like, what?
yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hors d'oeuvres? Anybody?
yeah. Just based on this conversation, it seems like not really a lot happened because it didn't. It was all like character stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I liked it. I also kind of like how they're reminding us how dangerous Kate is. I'm like, this is
Hmm.
cool because on Island Kate seems like she's more of a danger to herself. So it's kind of nice to kind of remind us who Kate is, and also Kate's the dangerous thing about Kate is not so much like she's purposely a danger to people. It's like who she inadvertently becomes a danger to, you know,
Hmm.
and it's usually the people around her.
Hmm.
So it was kind of nice to see her steal a cab and point a gun at a pregnant woman, you know, and just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like we got to remember, even though we know her backstory and you can sympathize with her, and I don't actually agree that she's innocent, but I totally get, you know, why she did it. It's like, yeah, she's a murderer. You know,
Hmm.
we can't forget that. So it was nice to be reminded of that.
Yeah. Although she is a credible threat on the island too. She
Yeah.
took out those two guys like nothing. So,
Dude, that was some smart thinking. I was like, okay, nice.
uh-huh.
Nice moves. She took out
Uh-huh.
the guy from Always Sunny.
I know.
Yeah, I forgot he was in this. And I forgot he is in season 3 when they're escaping.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, you know, because he
Okay.
mentions that,
Okay.
and it's like, yeah, he was there. He was on the cast list. I'm like, okay, I just thought it was like a probably quick shot, you know,
Yeah.
of them knocking him out. All right, let's talk island stuff.
Yeah.
All the temple stuff.
Once again, we're back to just vague writing.
It's just
Va-
going in
vague
circles, man.
Vague writing does not make where I need the Ronald D. Moore thing where I like write it on,
Yeah.
I write it on the board, after I take a shower. It's like vague writing, it doesn't mean it's a mystery. Idiot.
Yeah. It's just going back and forth. Like nothing is happening. You know,
Yeah.
nothing is happening. You just keep going back and forth. Tell us what's happening. No, you just got to trust us. How can we trust you? And it just goes on and on for this whole episode. I'm like,
Hmm.
dude, what is happening? Uh, I like the way that kind of ends with Jack finally getting some answers from Dogen, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Um, so, okay, what did we learn? Saeed is like infected.
Yes.
So that's what like the test was, I'm guessing, to like I think that the test or the water thing was to save his life, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he comes back, they're like, okay, we need to run the test on him. He fails. Dogen basically says there's a darkness that's in him. If it reaches his heart, the man you knew is gone. I'm like, is that a literal darkness? Is that figuratively, thematically? Knowing the show, it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah, it's probably both.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. Why couldn't you tell us that? You know?
Yeah.
We just time traveled. Like, I'll believe anything at this point. You know, we've just seen our friend who you killed come back from the dead. Like, I'll believe anything. Like, I'm sick and tired of the secrets, especially for the last season. Like guys, like, and that's what I think makes it hurt the most. It's the last season, and it still feels like they're stalling.
Yeah.
That's all it feels like. It feels like they're stalling. You can get a character in who doesn't provide you information one time.
Yeah.
After that, you're repeating yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. It's again.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't want to make comparisons, but like compare this to Dark, where like
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Didn't really they kept people in the dark, but it was more of like giving them sometimes misinformation or telling them what they wanted to hear, but like it kept the plot flowing, you know?
Yeah.
That's not the important part. Something like Dark, it's such a character-driven show, and they know it. So they're like, okay, we got to keep the plot going forward. We can't stall too much. You know, in certain parts we can't stall. We'll like sidetrack. You know, we'll go on a little distraction, or we'll pull like the old switcheroo, you know, where you think you know what's going on, but you really don't. But never is it just like sitting there. And if you are, it doesn't last long, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas Lost, like that's the only trick they got in the bag. Oh, can't tell you. Oh, can't tell you. Like,
it's like if you get it, if you have that character who won't give you that information, it's like you said, like you get it once. What needs to happen after that is you either provide the information by some other means, or you just have that character tell them, you know, you have the situation come out where it's like, hey, we need that information, you know, or you're telling us this information. Like I don't get it. And it's like what's frustrating to me is that like I don't understand why you would write characters that would still accept this.
Yes, that's where the logic fails.
Yeah.
We're so far in, none of these characters would accept that. They teased it a little bit last time where Jack starts fighting them, but then that's when Saeed wakes up. You know?
Then, I mean, we got it again where like Dogen won't tell Jack what's in the pill. So Jack just takes a gamble and tries to swallow the pill, and Dogen kicks his ass.
That was a boss move. I'm like, dude, yes.
Yeah.
That was an excellent piece of writing. That's an excellent Jack moment. I'm like, yes, we're getting little pieces of Jack. Like, this is the Jack we've needed since the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
Like he was a good leader in the beginning, but somewhere along the way, it's just his hard-headedness kept leading him astray. Now it kind of feels like he's very reckless, but it feels like, okay, we're seeing, you know, the hero come out of him more. You know, maybe shaking off seasons 2 through 5, you know, we're like, all right, okay.
Yeah.
If you're going to continue to postpone that info, you need to do something different. You got to approach it differently, you know? Like, I don't know how you would do it. You would have to do, you kind of sidestep, you know? You give us something without giving us the information. Just be like, so blah, blah, blah. Why aren't they talk to someone else, someone who's not the main two? Like, why aren't they talking? Like, you know, talk to a guard or talk to some random person there. One of the gardeners be like, hey, I'm just trying to get a better lay of the land. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And like,
yeah,
trust us. If Dogen's not telling you something, it's for the best. No, that wouldn't work either. Because that's what they're
No.
doing. It's for,
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm
exactly
thinking like
they're
what I
doing.
would have done in this episode, and this is going to lead into my next topic as well. I would have spent more time with Saeed.
Mhm.
We, as the audience, need to suspect that something's wrong with Saeed.
Yeah.
Because it just, we're like Jack, like, I don't believe anything these people are talking about, you know? So it kind of, there's no value in anything the writers and showrunners are giving us.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, nope, don't believe it. So give us a little bit to actually question that. And like, maybe it's a look Saeed gives, or he does something different, or someone asks him a question, one of our main cast asks him a question, and he gives a wrong answer,
Mhm.
or he doesn't remember exactly. Like, give us some little seed of doubt in that Saeed. And at the end of last episode, you said, if that's not Saeed, if that's someone else like in him, I'm gonna be pissed. Give
Mhm.
us some of that. Like,
Yeah.
let us actually question it. So now we're in Jack's shoes and we're like, what do I
Honestly,
do?
I would have almost preferred that,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this alternative where we're just still spinning circles,
yeah.
just like,
Or well, yes, and because my solution to that is if you have that little seed of doubt in Saeed, then some other character, the John Hawkes guy could come out and say, like, look, I don't know if it would actually be him, but someone will come out and be like, look,
Mhm.
we're not telling you the truth. We're not telling you any info because we have reason to believe someone in your group is not who they say they are.
Mhm. Mhm.
Or they have ulterior motives. That alone solves your problem. We still don't
Yeah.
get the info. We're still in the dark, but now we're recontextualizing everything. We're like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Or even if they literally say, we're not sure that is Saeed.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, huh.
And
These
then
like,
you do the slow pan in, like the next shot cut to Saeed staring off while he's just like sitting against a rock.
kind of like the episode where like the ending where John's kind of just like looking out at the ocean, kind of like that.
Exactly.
And these
Exactly.
characters don't have any idea about Locke and the thing that's in him or anything. So
Yeah.
so they wouldn't assume that. But like you could make that connection for us, the audience, who is aware of that. Like, because for all they know, maybe that is, you know, maybe it isn't Saeed. Who knows?
Mhm.
If like Dugan's perspective, he doesn't know that guy's actually walking around.
Yeah.
They got the warning, and he's like, "What if it's already inside? What if it's one of us?"
Mhm.
Give us something like that, and instantly the suspense goes through the roof.
Yeah.
It's the oldest trick in the book. Question what you know. Question
Mhm.
the ones you trust. You're like, oh
Mhm.
man,
Mhm.
this is how you get picked off.
Exactly.
You split the group, and right before in the final season, before the ending, you got to fracture them a little bit so they're vulnerable. I'm like,
Mhm.
yep, yep. Anyway, that's this episode of how I would have done it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was definitely the weakest point. Anytime we went back to the Kate in the alternate world, I was like, finally. This,
Or
I, how did you feel about the Sawyer stuff in this go?
honestly, I thought the Sawyer stuff was great. I
Me
thought
too.
it was like the best part of the episode.
Josh Holloway was acting his heart out, dude.
Mhm.
I think like it's such a small like moment uh where he's talking to Kate on the docks, but it's so good. And I'm like, I think this is like his best performance of the
Mhm.
series so far. You know, he's already mid crying when Kate shows up, and it
Yep.
doesn't really stop. It kind of just escalates through the scene. I'm like,
It's great.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Great. Give him the Emmy. Give him the Emmy retroactive. I don't care.
right,
Do it.
man, dude, it was so good.
Yeah.
And then Kate cries at the end of that scene. I'm like, I don't care about you, Kate. Did you just see that performance he gave?
This isn't about you, Kate.
This
All right.
is your episode, but it's not about you, Kate. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't see what was in the shoebox. He just pulls
Yeah.
something out
He
And
pulls out like a black, like
oh
a black bag, and then later on the dock,
yeah,
he pulls out the ring,
so the ring was probably in there. Yeah,
and it was a nice ring. I was like, man, that sucks.
yeah.
Ah,
I like that we didn't see any of the lock stuff. I'm glad it was just like this group's side because that would have
yeah,
just been too much.
yeah.
Um, so all in all, I won't say it's a bad episode, but there's a
It,
lot weighing it down.
it's not a bad episode. It's fine.
Yeah,
My issue is that like again, this is the final season, and we what are we doing? We're still doing the same thing that we've been doing
yeah,
for, all these other seasons. It's like, no, guys, like we should have moved past this.
yeah,
There should have been a character well before who said exactly like you did, just be like, look, we just freaking time traveled. We just set off a nuclear bomb and time
yeah,
traveled back from the 70s into our reality. You can tell us whatever the hell is wrong with Saeed, and we'll
yeah.
probably believe you, you
Like I
know?
don't know what's the benefit of keeping it secret.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the big thing about Lost. There's all these secrets. They've never justified those secrets.
Yeah.
Give us
Yeah.
something, like make us understand why it was a secret. And then I'll be like, and then so when the next group does it, I'll be more lenient. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll play for now.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know, man. And like I feel like sure we're repeating ourselves, but so is this episode, and so is the storyline.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when this storyline, that's like the majority of the storyline, just them being in the dark. I don't trust you. Trust us. I don't trust you. Blah, blah. I'm like, it did get good once Jack takes that pill. It's like, oh man, he's gonna kill Saeed, blah blah blah, and then he has to talk with Dogen. It's like, okay, that final scene was good,
Hmm.
but you still have like so much back and forth before you get to that point. I'm just like, what are we doing here? And when you only have 16 episodes left, it's like, well, at this point, even less because we're already
Hmm.
three in. So it's like, guys, you don't have time to spare, man. You don't have time to kill. Like you got to just go for it at this point.
Yeah.
I think also just kind of not that we're purposely reviewing or trying to critique it, but it's like final season, the bar is raised. Like everything has come to this.
Hmm.
So I want better quality writing, acting, so on and so forth. It's
Yeah.
like this is it, guys. This is your last shot. How's it gonna what is your show gonna be remembered as?
Yeah.
So funny thing that I realized that again in my behind the scenes research, they didn't let out, and I completely forgot about this. They didn't let out any footage of this final season before it aired.
Oh wow.
There were like all the trailers, all the commercials were footage from the first five seasons. It's
Mm.
all come to this.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one clip that they aired was the very last shot where Claire lowers the rifle and you see crazy Claire. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Interesting.
That was it. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. Okay, because they want to let you know Claire's back.
Claire's back.
So
She's got a gun.
Claire's got a gun. Um, so that was an interesting way that they ended the temple stuff. They say Saeed's infected, blah blah blah. And Jack's like, "How do you know this?" They say, "Because it's what happened to your sister." Duh! I was like, "Oh, okay, that was a cool reveal." I'm like, "All right,"
Hmm. Hmm.
um, but there's also a lot of other stuff that doesn't really jive with me, like Kate and Jin splitting up. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't like the way that went down. Like, I understand where Jin's coming from, but like I don't know why Kate was so against Jin for some reason. I'm like, why did you just tell me I have no idea where her son is? Like, it
Yeah.
was so bizarre. I'm like, why are they fighting?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like,
Um,
hey, you be nice to Jin, all right?
yeah,
You left him on the island.
yeah, and like And I guess no, she left him to die on the boat, which was worse.
Oh yeah. Well, see, even worse.
Yeah, I get why she's chasing Sawyer, and then again, like she's kind of crying because she does. I'm sure she feels like guilty, to a certain extent. She said like I'm the one who got you off the sub, but at
Hmm.
the same time, I think it's also hammering the fact home like the boy ain't yours anymore, Kate.
Hmm.
He moved on. He loved and he lost, and there's no way he's going back to that place again. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, like. Instead of like having Kate come to that decision on her own, which is kind of I don't know how they would have done it because you would have like had to erase like Sawyer's kind of growth and his time with Juliet. But I really wish Kate had come to a point where it's just like not so much like choosing between Sawyer or Jack, but to a place where like no, she doesn't have to do that. She doesn't have to pursue that. And it's not that she's pursuing Sawyer for a relationship or anything, but it's just the fact that like he's that guy for her.
Yeah.
And it's just I wish we would have got a way to get past that. Instead it felt like forced, which
Yeah.
honestly is kind of more realistic. So I'll give them that. Like she doesn't actually get to make that choice. It's made for her
Hmm.
by the person. So I don't know. This is TV. We could have handled it a little better.
Yeah.
So it's that scene at the end of 500 Days of Summer where Tom is asking Summer. He's just like, I don't get it. You're always this person who's said you didn't believe in love and all that stuff. She's like, I was at a bookshop and this guy asked me about the book, and a year later we're getting married. And the part that really stung was when she said, when I'm with him, I'm sure of what I wasn't sure of with you. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's kind of like that forced growing up moment. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it hurts because it feels like someone else grew up and you kind of got left behind, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of what Kate's going through. It's just not really conveyed very well.
Hmm.
It's just kind of like, it's kind of presented in a way, especially with her and Juliet butting heads last season. It's kind of presented in a way like, I gotta go save my boy. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It didn't seem like character growth for Kate. It didn't seem like a character arc. It just felt like something that happened, and now she's like heartbroken about it.
Yeah.
I wish it was just done better.
Yeah.
Focus on your kid that's not really your kid, Kate.
Focus on finding your not kid's mom, real mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We kind
Yeah.
of covered the important stuff.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Predictions.
I I don't think Claire's gonna be so evil, you know,
Yeah, well,
that
that's the
these other
thing.
people are talking about.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we haven't really seen like what they're talking about. Like
Hmm.
like is this what happened to Locke, or is that something else? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like what exactly? Oh,
Yeah, like,
also, I was kind of curious. Is this also the infection that they've been talking about since season one? Is this what got the French people?
oh, yeah, that's
Because as
right.
far as we know, like Russo, like they killed themselves. Like Russo killed them.
Yeah.
So, and she made it seem like they turned on each other.
Hmm.
So, like, I wonder the fact that Dogan's mentioning infection, I wonder if that's the same thing.
Hmm. Could be.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what Claire's been up to for 3 years on her own.
Yeah.
She was on Once Upon a Time.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, next week we're talking about Lost, season 6, episode 4, The Substitute. I'm really running out of ways to describe these episodes without giving spoilers. So, uh, someone is seeking help to do a job while someone else is fired from their current job.
Wow, okay.
Next on Abbott Elementary. Oh, which is also crossing over with Always
With
Sunny. Did you see that?
Always Sunny,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Like that's that's weird. Two totally different audience, I thought.
People were asking like, okay, is this gonna be like a PG rated Always Sunny episode or an
Right.
R rated Abbott Elementary episode? Like, I have no idea.
So I saw like the photo and they're at the school. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing this is an Abbott Elementary episode. Like I don't know if they're doing an Always Sunny episode.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. They might be,
They might be.
but yeah.
It's kind of like that time. Uh. I don't remember what shows are called anymore.
Names, actors.
New Girl
Oh, New Girl
and
and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like kind of like the time like they crossed over, you
Yeah.
know?
Now, I don't remember, but was it like a legitimate crossover? Because I remember the New Girl episode. It was just one scene.
It's just one scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well.
That's such a waste.
Yeah.
Like bring them in, like cross over the cast. If
Yeah,
the
like,
Chicago franchise can do it weekly, Chicago Fire, Chicago
MD?
MD, what's the cop one?
No, is it MD? PD.
No, Chicago Med, Chicago PD, and then I think there's a law one as well, Chicago Law. I don't know.
Sure.
Mine would have been Chicago Animal Control. A rare falcon escapes from the jail and they have to only all the helicopters are down and they don't want to injure it, so they have to confiscate the hot air balloon from the local town festival. Yeah.
And
Chicago.
mine would have been Chicago Postal Service.
Jesus.
You want to talk about the real crime going on here? Mail fraud.
Mail fraud.
Don't mess with the mail.
Our government, they're stealing from you every day.
Mhm. Oh.
God.
Yeah,
Awesome.
see, how come we don't have these shows?
Let's
Yeah,
pitch it, man. We'll
we
pitch
should.
it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if Chicago could do it all the time, Brooklyn Nine-Nine and New Girl could have done it.
Right.
Even CSI was pretty good because they would legitimately bring over like at least one of the main characters for like the full episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Buffy and Angel used to do that all the time where it's like, oh, like I gotta go take
Yeah.
care of this thing. And then next episode, that character would be on for the whole episode.
Okay.
Even Doctor Who and Torchwood would do that occasionally.
A little bit, yeah. So
Yeah.
what show could Lost cross over with?
What was contemporary with the time? What else was on?
I don't know, but right after
Battlestar.
Lost ended, that's when I think Hawaii Five-O started.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because I believe a lot of the crew went on, like they stayed in Hawaii or they were already like native Hawaiians who just stayed and they wanted to keep the industry going, so they did Hawaii Five-O.
And Daniel Dakim was on Hawaii Five-O.
He's in
he was
it,
like
and-
he was like a main cast member for like
Yeah,
4 seasons.
And Jorge
Garcia, yeah.
Garcia, I don't know if he was ever main, but he became like a recurring character.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, like that's cool. They could have treated Lost as like a backdoor pilot for Hawaii Five-O. It's what's the main guy's name? Siri, who's the main character in Hawaii Five-O? Steve McGarrett. At least in the in the original. I don't know about the remake. McGarrett is the one who's after Kate.
Oh gosh.
He's in LA. Now, Hawaii doesn't play a role into Lost at all. It's just where they filmed. So maybe this is the case that drives him over the edge, and he's like, you know what? I need to go back home to Hawaii. Pitch it.
Sure.
All right. Well, Sam doesn't like my pitches anymore. Listeners, let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know what you think of Hawaii Five-O. One of the best theme songs ever, the original version.
For sure.
And let us know what Lost character you would name your baby after or have already named your baby after.
Oh, crap. I know. I have it. It's the perfect name. It's the perfect baby name. It's the perfect name. It's the perfect Lost character. Vincent.
Oh, of course. Depends how many kids I would have, but Vincent.
Nope. Vincent. Yeah.
Vincent
Mhm.
Well, okay, you can take Vincent. I'm gonna take Rosa Bernard.
Okay, yeah, those are good names.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one. I'm pretty sure I'll think of some others. Well, I'll take Rosa Bernard after Doctor Pierre
Dr. Chang,
Chang
Dr. Pierre
Jimenez.
Chang.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, a title, a French name, a Chinese name, and a Mexican name?
And a Mexican? Hey, he's multicultural.
Yeah, a multicultural baby.
International baby.
Yeah.
It's that meme, just like a son and their father sitting in the car. It's like, Dad, why did you name my sister Rose? Because that was the thing that your mother loved the most. Wow. Thanks, Dad. You're welcome, the Swan site.
The Swan site.
That's what I would name it. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. Good night, baby Dharma Shark.
Baby Dharma Shark, yeah.
Okay, listeners.
Perfect.
Until next time, I'm assuming, according to our schedule, because we are recording these a little bit ahead of schedule, I hope you enjoyed Monday's episode of Arcane. I hope we enjoyed it too, because we haven't recorded it yet.
Shush, you're not supposed to be giving out trade secrets.
Yeah, I know, and I hope you enjoy this
Stop
next
it.
episode as well, where we talk about more Arcane.
Mhm.
So, yeah, everyone, hit us up, hashtag Lost Legacies. I'm on Twitter for a little bit. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay, but I'm at _Matt Jimenez, and on Instagram, forever and always, as Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch.
And you can find me hopefully still on Twitter and on Instagram at Real, that's REEL Texas Weirdo.
Until next time, get lost.
Get lost.